A retired 2-star Air Force general leaves his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on foot. He doesn't take his phone. He doesn't come back. That was February 27th, and he's still missing. His name is William Neil McCasland, and his career, at least what we can actually see and what is documented, is the reason this story matters, beyond a missing person bulletin. Obviously, hopefully he is found safe and sound, but today I want to walk through who this man is, what we actually know, and then I want to separate that from what the internet has decided it means, because those are two very different conversations. Before we dive in, I am still on the road. I just made it to Paris from Asia. I thread the needle between the Black Sea and Iranian airspace. So again, you're not going to see my face on this one, but I wanted to dive into it because it definitely is very interesting. So that said, let's jump into it. McCasland graduated from the Air Force Academy in 1979 with a degree in astronautical engineering. He then went to MIT and completed graduate work in aerospace engineering. From there, his career went in a direction most people never hear about. He worked in the Secretary of the Air Force's Special Projects offices in Los Angeles, classified science reconnaissance programs. He ran mission planning at Aerospace Data Facility at Buckley Air Force Base, which puts him really close to the National Reconnaissance Office. He was the chief engineer of the Navstar GPS Joint Program Office, the program that built the GPS constellation the entire world now depends upon. Then he came back to Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico, where he later went missing, and he commanded the Air Force Research Laboratory Space Vehicles Directorate at Phillips Research Site. In 2009, he became the Director of Special Programs in the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition. That role made him the Executive Secretary of the Special Access Program Oversight Committee, the SAPOC. That body oversees America's most sensitive classified programs across the entire defense enterprise. Very important here. He finished his career by commanding the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Roughly 10,000 personnel, a multi-billion-dollar portfolio which included advanced weapons, directed energy, materials, and space systems. This is an unusual, or rather very unique, career combination of roles. Black space programs, the NRO adjacency, GPS architecture, the Special Access Program oversight, Air Force Research Laboratory command. Most people might have one or two of these when we're talking about engineering and research. He had them all. So here's where a little noise pops up. Because McCasland's name has been circling in the UFO and UAP circles for years, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where he commanded the Air Force Research Lab, has been a focal point in the UFO lore for decades. Project Blue Book was based there. There are long-standing rumors about the Roswell crash materials being stored there. Whether any of that's true, I genuinely don't know. What is documented in 2016, a WikiLeaks published emails between Tom DeLonge, the Blink-182 musician turned UAP advocate, and John Postetta. McCasland's name appears in those emails. DeLonge described him as a central figure to discussion about UFO disclosure and the advanced technology programs. McCasland has never publicly confirmed or discussed any of that, which is not surprising given his knowledge, his security clearances, and all the non-disclosure agreements and documents you have to sign when you get access to these programs, saying you'll never spill the beans, otherwise you will go to federal prison for the rest of your life. Investigative journalist Ross Colhart called his disappearance a grave national security crisis because of his alleged knowledge of these sensitive programs. When we say alleged, if you're running the Special Access Program, you have lots of information. The framing definitely got picked up widely. You'll see headlines calling him a UFO expert, which is definitely not how his biography reads. Now, without stirring up too much of the controversy around UAPs, I'm not going to say there's nothing to that angle. I honestly don't know. What I can tell you, though, is that the documented national security concern here doesn't require the UFO piece at all. A retired 2-star with Special Access Program oversight credentials, having that intimate knowledge of across the DoD enterprise, plus the NRO adjacency, the deep knowledge of classified space and space weapons programs that have been in development, that are ongoing, no phone, no contact, no trace for 2 weeks, that's definitely a serious concern. And that's why I think you now see the FBI joining in the search. Maybe this is not something atypical, but it appears right now they're saying there's been no evidence of foul play. So if we think about any other citizen that might disappear, this is going to be handled by local authorities. Given his stature, his knowledge, and his intimacy with all of these programs, it has no doubt escalated it to the federal level, and that's why you're seeing them get involved. Now, investigators say they've canvassed the neighborhood. They've contacted more than 600 homeowners, deploying searches on foot, horseback, drones, helicopter, and 3 different types of search dogs. Again, all of that seems odd. I know crazier things have happened. We'll stay tuned and see how this one develops. Ultimately, the happy ending to this one will him being returned home or returning home safely. But they are saying right now, the official position, there's no medical concern. There's no foul play involved, but they are still searching. So if you do have any information, you can contact the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office tip line, and I'll put that link down below. So that's all I have for today. I'll let you know if I hear anything else and how this one develops.